All right, Project Odysseus from PewDiePie. Now that's this is kind of a weird intro live stream. I'm probably going to chop this up into two different live streams. I'll try and make this to where people can rewatch it after the fact. So I might end the stream and then restart the stream at the onset here, or maybe I'll just chop YouTube off after we finish. So this is really interesting. I have a couple different things rattling around. This is about AI, right? Oh my God. But locally ran because I recently had GitHub Pro Plan, which was given to me for free because I have a bunch of public repos in the FOSS realm, and GitHub like gifts those to people that contribute to FOSS at like a big scale. But that Pro Plan is absolute garbage now. I'll run through those prompts or those tokens in about an hour, where it used to last me all month. So that's no longer viable for me. So we got to look at local LLMs. The other thing, I'm also signed up for GPT for the Codex subscription plan. I think only the $20 one. We'll see how far we get on that. That'll probably be something where I'll use like a token saver project. There's something called Headroom. Might explore that a little bit as well. But this is kind of where we're at. So big thing. I had all these things rattling around, and instead of just figuring them out behind the scenes, I thought, well, let's just see the actual, hey, this is what to expect if you were to go set this up yourself. Now, having said that, Project Odysseus definitely got pushed to millions of people, and probably less than 1% of them have the hardware to run it. I'm just going to say this up front. I would say you need at least a minimum of 16 gigs of VRAM to get anything that resembles what he showed on his video. I don't know that for a fact. We're going to see it today. Right now, I have a 32 gig VRAM card, an Intel B70. We will be doing not the best to use for this. Obviously, the best would be an NVIDIA GPU meant for data centers. So that's what it is. That's why I'm streaming on Monday. Usually I don't stream today. Usually it's Tuesday, Thursday. But, man, just I have so much going on, and I kind of need and not having any kind of AI assistant just kind of sucks, because I'm not gonna shell out. It'd be hundreds of dollars if I kept using like the additional premium requests on GitHub. The GitHub plan or the Copilot GitHub plan absolutely cannot be used. I can't emphasize that enough. So you're gonna need a subscription plan. Either go Claude Code or GPT, pick your poison, and then probably wrap that with something to save token cost, is what most coders are doing now that actually pay for their coding costs and don't work for like a major company where they can just throw whatever at the wall and token spend can go out of control. Most companies are still burning through piles of cash. But regardless, today, let's get into Project Odysseus and go into it. I just wanted to kind of preface that. Heavy hardware requirements on this one. How heavy? I don't even know if 32 gigs of VRAM will be sufficient. So that's how heavy it is. We'll see. Let's get on the desktop and see where we're at. Oh, I also forgot. If you were here on the last stream, we're back on DWM. That was the sad news. All right. Happy Monday. Let's go. Project Odysseus. Boy, let's see how far we get with this. Odysseus. Oh, what was it? The old PewDiePie set this up. Now, on PewDiePie, I always thought he was just a lucky guy, you know, just kind of doing his own thing. And hell, I never thought he had any kind of technical chops. And the reason why I thought this was he used something called Bandicam for the longest time. And I was like, oh my God, dude, just use OBS. But he got over 100 million subs using Bandicam instead of OBS, which is nuts to me. I'm just like, okay. But obviously, 200 IQ play here. Who knew that he could even get started with something like this? Anyways, if you haven't seen his video about Project Odysseus, it is an all-in-one, essentially web wrapper that interfaces. It puts a nice front end on a local LLM, so you're not sitting there with like llama in your CLI or open code. kind of makes it for the average person. Now, I would say one thing that kind of stuck out to me is he probably used Claude extensively to make this. I'm seeing like the commits from Claude code, and he had it's extensive. I've noticed on the contributors here, it has over 100 commits on this repo, and yeah. Also, the code in Odysseus is not going to be very clean. You can see they are just bloating this thing to all hell and gone. Like 300,000 lines added, 7,000 removed. 10,000 lines added, less than 1,000 removed. So typically in a healthy project, you'll see this you almost see parity between lines added and not. We'll see how this matures, because that's the really true test of a project. Like with WinUtil, it goes through phases where sometimes it kind of gets bloated up and more lines are added, and then I kind of make a culling phase where we're just trying to dump and kind of clean up, and there's iteration work. So we'll have to see what the iterations look like for future releases of this project, but really kind of interesting. You know, and that's kind of where I'm like, how good is this? Well, let's find out. I mean, I don't expect much from this, but like I said, let's install it and see, man. We're just going to go through the quick start. They want to just do it through a Docker container, or we can just go native. If we do native, he wants to do a VNV. I don't really like to do Python 3 VNVs like this anymore. A lot of times I end up using UV, which does the VNV and manages the virtual environment in Python a lot better. So I probably would change that instruction. I'll let chat decide. What do you guys want? You guys want a native CLI, or you want it in a Docker? I feel like native CLI will be there. Docker would probably be the easiest. I mean, we could try it. Yeah. You got native would have better performance. I don't like Docker as well. I'm kind of with you on that one, Gabby. Because if you go Docker, what ends up happening is I have like an Intel card. We might need to rebuild. I don't know what the back end looks like. I think he's probably using llama because it's probably the easiest to interface with. And I would prefer to do a build of llama.cpp with Intel libraries. Because if you build it with proper library support for the Intel cards, they have some tooling, and it would speed up the requests. So I think we'd have a better shot doing that. So I think we'll go native, actually, now that I'm kind of talking through it. Yeah, for the GPU part, I think native would be the best. For the noob out there, I probably could do Docker if your setup is like... Was he using 5090s? Or did he actually get enterprise NVIDIA cards? Does anybody know? Yeah, I'm pretty sure PewDiePie was grabbing probably like the NVIDIA GPU data center. Let's see. Yeah, probably no. I think probably even more than the B200s. Oh, I think, well, maybe B200. Let's see. Yeah, he's probably using the B200. What do we got? B200. Oh, no. He doesn't have that. He doesn't have that. Probably the... I would imagine Ampere 800s is probably around what he was at. Probably like A100s, 40 gig. And I think he was doing 4 of those cards. Oh, it was a NVIDIA 6000? Okay. Let's see. Let's see what he has. If you could match his spec exactly, this is where the hardware side of things is. Well, you notice how he didn't say, hey, this is the hardware you need. He was like, this is taking it local. And I get, for the broad audience, what he did was just kind of cool, but it was just kind of flexing on people without actually explaining the hardware requirements to this. Holy shit, he's using 6000s? All right, what's the cost of these things? Because he's using 4 of them, right? Yeah, I think he's using multiple 6,000s for this. So 6,000 shopping cost. Let's see what the cost is on these guys. So he's using 4 of these RTX 6000 Pros. They range about $9,000 a pop. You get them 8,000 used. So roughly an expenditure of about 37,000 to 33,000. So probably between 33 and 40,000 depending on your locale and stuff. So to match his spec, you're going to spend almost $40,000 to get a comparable processing time as him. Just going to throw that out there. Probably no one, 0.0001% can do this. Even if you had the money to do it and you had the 40,000 to just drop, getting these cards would be very difficult. All right, that's up front. We don't have that kind of money. I am going to use an Intel B70. We will use native Linux so that we can modify the compilers on the back end. The B70 is like the poor man's version of that card. It actually has a good bit of memory on the B70, the Intel B70 Battle Mage. I think it's a Battle Mage. And that card has 32 gigs of VRAM. So should be good. Let's get rolling on this. We're gonna just do a git clone. Actually, we're gonna do it probably the proper way here. We're gonna just do it this way. We might end up forking this project if I really like it. So let's clone it. Yeah, 32 gigs is quite good. And the thing about the Intel B70 is they're readily available. And they're under $1,000, or about like right at 1,000 for most people, at least here in the States. So more accessible for more users. All right, so here's the Odysseus project. We've cloned it. We're in this. We're in the directory. We could build the VMV. Yeah. You know what? Let's just follow his instructions from the native. It's fine. Yeah, 500 open VRs. Yeah, I mean, there's just so much going on here. The other thing about Odysseus that I can tell, and this is just something as you get new to GitHub, it's just part of life, and I went through the same thing, so don't take me as this knocking PewDiePie. He obviously is a very bright guy, but he doesn't know. I think he hasn't done any Git releases yet on this project, and right now he's separating main branch from dev branch, but he hasn't actually done releases, which kind of is like, I would prefer a release that way when you hit a stable branch, and you'll have releases to fall back on. They're almost like snapshots in time. And right now he just has main branch, dev branch, which is fine. That's how I do WinUtil. But every time I make a release, we have a full-on tag and a release with WinUtil. So then you have a point in time you'll always be able to go back to. So let's say your dev branch, you know, people test it, everything's good, and then you merge that into the main branch. And then when it goes out to 1 million people, you're like, oh shit, never mind. There's this niche use case we didn't think of or we're able to test, and now main branch is broken. That's okay. We still have the old tag or release, so we'll just go ahead and do a reset back to that tag or release. So I would like to see PewDiePie add releases to this project. That's the first thing. We'll do that. Very similar setup. What was it using? UV corn. Very similar to Discourse on the setup here. Discourse is a forum application that's one of the biggest in the web. So if you're ever doing any like sysadmin work, you'll run into Discourse quite often. I've been enjoying Odysseus, one of the smoothest onboarding experiences for running a local LLM. It's not great for anything outside of typical productivity tasks, but it's a Swiss Army knife. DJ, if it's that, I'd be super happy. I think it'd be just amazing. Why am I not using Mango WC? Yeah, so I ran into some more bugs after I ended the last stream, and Wayland failed me once again. And I just couldn't. One of the big bugs, it was having a compositing error when using Gmail. So it was kind of bugging out everywhere on the screen, and I was just like, I ain't got time for this shit right now. All right, I'm going back to Xorg with DWM. You know what we're going to do? PewDiePie has inspired me. So if he can build this, why not? You know what? I'm going to just take DankShell that's written for Wayland. Let's convert DankShell instead of using Wayland. Let's convert it to Xorg. Screw it. The inference cost on this would be just absolutely through the roof. But if he can do this, why can't we do that? Yeah. Get away from this Wayland trash. I mean, if it's just compositing errors everywhere, man. I was just having compositing errors in games. I was having compositing errors just browsing the web, just using Gmail. I was having compositing errors. And I was like, okay, I think Wayland would be fine if you're using GNOME or KDE probably at this point. Like 80% of Linux desktop users are on some form of KDE at this point. I think some of them are on Hyperland too. Hyperland probably is a little bit more of a decent experience too, but I don't know, man. Mango was not it for me. Yeah, I mean, I would love to kick X11 back to the curb, but at the end of the day, I need things that are stable, man. I need it to work 100% of the time. I don't need to be sitting here going, oh, well, why isn't this working? Why isn't this compositing correctly? Why am I getting these glyphs? Why am I getting bleed through? Why is GIMP crashing after using it extensively for 5 minutes? Why can't I don't need to be, I just don't want to troubleshoot that crap. I'm like, man, I just want this shit to work. And Wayland is not it, man. Especially with a window manager. I think Wayland might get there if you're just using a mainline desktop environment. Hyperland's probably the closest window manager to be in there, but I just don't like that setup at all. So I'm kind of like, ugh. I honestly think at this point in time, it'd be easier to convert DankShell to X11 than to transition to Wayland, which is kind of crazy. Yeah. And Nuri's too modern for this old man. Shots fired, but accurate. What do we got? Is this, let's check. Is this doing anything? Is it already up? I anticipated the install to go a little bit longer. Is it that quick? Well, it appears it's that quick. Wow. Okay, the install of this was not long at all. All right, type setup to get started. Setup DeepSeek. Okay, so you can set up your OpenAI, Anthropic, OpenRouter, Grok, Google Gemini, XAI, Llama, GitHub Copilot. Wow. Llama Cloud. Local model. Wow. Even as a Chat GPT subscription you tie into. Dude, it finished like 7 minutes ago. I was sitting here yapping. Paste your local import URL, for example. Oh, don't add a space after setup? I'm pretty sure you do, right? Yeah, no. Huh. A 12 gig Gemma 4. We should be able to do a lot more than 12 gig. We could go with like a 31B on Gemma. So how do we add local models? So we just add the endpoint right here. Do we still have... Dude, so this has just been going. All right, let's push this. We'll monitor if we run into any problems. Dude, that's quick. That was so quick. I'm impressed. Do we still have llama CPU? Nope. Maybe llama here. All right, we have models. I think I already got my Gemma 4 agent, but I don't really want to use Gemma 4. I want to say in his video, he said you could just set up the models inside of Odysseus. Let's see how that interfaces. Try cookbook. Okay, let's go cookbook. Sorry. All right, let's go cookbook. Got it. Download from Hugging Face by pasting the model, downloading directly. Okay. Scan and download. Let's try scan and download. So you got standard coding. All right, we're gonna go coding. Engine. We want llama.cpp. Yep. Quadrant or quantitative. We'll just do all, I guess. Context 50K. Search. It says no GPU. We want a GPU. It doesn't detect the GPU. Okay, well, that's going to be a problem. It's an Intel problem, I imagine. The first hiccup here. Do we have... Okay, we got server, llama.cpp. Let's install this. Let's just install it and see what happens. Q4 will work best. Okay. Let's look at CLI info for the GPU and get it working. All right, that's finished. Okay. All right, clear finished. Clear. So we got llama CP, but no GPU still. We do have Gemma 4 already that it found. And this is just in the cache. Oh, geez. All right. I'm curious to see. I don't think it probably would build it with the proper flags that we need for Intel B70, but we'll find. That's probably what's not reading the GPU. All right, still CL info. Let's see what we got. All right, so for CL info, we pretty much have everything. I remember us doing a local build with the B70 where we got our local one going. I don't even know how head mod works in Twitch. So, yeah. Oh, you switched to a Windows install and it was detected? That's wild. I'm not running this shit in Windows. Yeah. Yeah, but we got Intel graphics right here. Device name, Intel Arc Pro B70. It's just not well supported by a lot of open models yet. The tooling's not all there. I remember I had to do a custom build of llama.cpp to get there. So let's hit rescan maybe? No. Dang. Let's see if anybody has the same issue on his issues. The nice thing about a open source project like this is other people have had this problem. All right, well, yeah, okay, so Odysseus cannot read any Intel GPUs, it looks like. Currently, there's a PR open that Pewds is actually on. Look at that. I wonder if he's using any kind of unit testing. He is. Okay. Yeah. Prove or merge this as is. Current blockers for the local audit. Interesting. This might be short-lived with our Intel GPU. Yeah. So for dependencies, because we want llama.cpp, let's see what the main build looks like. Llama.cpp Intel B70. Let's just manually build. Maybe we can feed it the agent and it would be fine. All right, so here's your llama.cpp. You have to do the SYCL backend when you build llama.cpp. I knew that, to get it to properly render and work. So we need render and video, clinfo -list, which you can see that right here. We have both the Xeon in platform 1, and then platform 0 is the Intel Arc. So we actually have two right there that we can utilize. Fantastic. Enable the API runtime. I think we've already done that, but let's see. Yeah. oneAPI is utilized. Okay. That should be fine. Then you got the one-click build. Obviously, .examples is not, we're not going to run that, but Q4 from Hugging Face, Llama. Might be able to rebuild that. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, what do we think here, chat? With everything, I mean, llama.cpp with the syscl headers to use the local interface is what we have to use if I want to utilize my Intel Arc B70. Or we could just plug in a GPT subscription. I do have that. I did buy a $20 subscription. I don't really want to use that because I'm afraid that he didn't wrap this and reduce token cost. So whatever gets passed here would just go straight to the subscription. I'd burn through all my credits and then I'd be sitting there going, okay, I got to wait 6 hours for a new prompt. So I don't really want to do that. All right, llama CPP Vulkan is the way to go. Okay. Oh, I can sign it here. Let's see. I didn't know there's different moderators. Here you go. Is there? I don't know how any of this works. Don't really care. All right, Fallen, there you go. Yeah, you're a moderator. Oh, lead moderator. Look at that. Yes, there you go, Fallen. You are now lead moderator. Enjoy your newfound power. All right, I'm currently using B70 with llama CPP and the SYCL backend, and it works very well. All right, Robert Montgomery says that's the way to go. So let's go llama CPP, and then rebuild with syscl, and then see if maybe we can add that to Odysseus. I'm not sure if that will work. I already did most of the backend work here, so let's see. So here's llama CPP, LLM interface, inference for C, C++. Okay. So for the install here, we should have all the dependencies already done. You can install it through brew, nix, or winget. Really? Run with Docker. Let's just do pre-release. I feel like we have to rebuild this though, because the pre-releases probably won't include that, right? This was 8 minutes ago. Damn. Okay. Yeah, the releases look to be all Ubuntu based, so we'll have to build it. Oh, it works. I have Odysseus running on my B70. Well, shit. All right, let's go. Yeah, CPP, llama CPP versus ollama is a speed increase across the board regardless. But on top of that, if you have an Intel GPU like me, you can build llama with the SYCL backend, and that's going to give you a massive bump in speed, and it's going to be able to just, you're going to want that. You're going to want that for sure. Otherwise, your local LLM responses are going to take a century to do. So, totally. We're going to be using main branch, not dev branch. All right, let's see. Build from source is what we're going to end up doing. Bindings, infrastructure, support backend. Okay. Yeah, we already initialized oneAPI, Robert, and we also have pretty much all this. I think we set it up a while back. I just never really used it because I wanted to try out Gemma 4, which we did. And it was fine, but... Alright, so we got that. Let's go into... So releases aren't any good. We're going to build CPP locally. So let's go ahead and do this. And we're going to build... Do we have llama already? Let's make sure. See, I already had llama. I think we already built it. Now, how to test? Probably should rebuild it, huh? All right, syscl is a high-level programming model to improve programming productivity with various R hardware accelerators, and is used to support Intel GPU. All right, great. For detail, refer to that. All right, fine. So we already have it, and I've already built it. Yeah, you're not going to be able to install the binary. The binary is not going to have the syscl support that we need. So you got to build it from source. All right. Let's see the CMake directory and see what we have here. I think should we just pull down a different history grep llama? No, nothing there. I was like, that's been too long. Read Fluff's message. All right. Yeah, I'm really just focusing on this. I'm going to probably ignore chat for most of this stream unless it's specifically on what I want to do here. No, we're not going to want to... Maybe we could do AUR for the syscl. Serve the model and then test it with a curl. Yeah, I just can't remember how I built it. It's been a minute. I've slept since then. I wish I did a video, man. A lot of times I did videos and articles specifically, not for any of you guys, but just for my future self, so I could remember how the hell I did the thing. That's why I record most of my stuff. Because there's been many times I figure something out and I'm like, oh yeah. Well, I better put that down, otherwise I'll forget about it. And except in this instance, I didn't do a video on it. Damn it. All right. No, I'm not going to read his message. Let's see. I want to figure out how to build this damn thing. Let's just rebuild it. Oh, God. I wish I saved that. All right, llama for syscl. Let's get this going. Let's just patch notes, hardware, performance, Docker, install drivers. Let's make sure. Let's check our groups. We have video and render. Great. CL info we already checked. We have that. Install oneAPI base toolkit. That's already done. You initialize the toolkit with set vars. That's done. Let's just do it again. It doesn't hurt to do it twice. Ooh. All right, well. Conflicting format options. Okay. Sys or SYCL.ls not found. Let's go to that one API directory. Do I need to read down one API, you think? This sourcing the set vars did not work. Let's grab the one API toolkit again. This is moving so fast that even a month-old stuff is not good enough. Let's just re-download the toolkit. All right. One API, Linux. I guess offline installer. Install through CLI. Let's grab the offline download. All right, let's grab that. Well, let's just go into a downloads directory. What do I have here? All right, let's clear that out. All right, we're gonna download this. Yeah, so I think Odysseus would work a lot better if you had the same hardware as him, or like an NVIDIA style LLM based GPU. So you could probably, for the common person, probably an A200 would probably be more accessible, maybe. Let's see. A200 NVIDIA. That probably would be, what's the cost of that? Oh. Well. Okay, well, that's not very much more affordable. Yeah. Yeah. I'm rocking 4 P40s. It only has 12 gigs. Yeah, you have to stack them. So to get it more affordable, you get like a lower VRAM and then just stack them. Because usually it's only one 8-pin PCI power connector. So if you have a bigger form factor on your CPU, you could stack like 2 or 3 of them and get up to like 36 gigs, which would be enough to run a viable model. Although, if we can get this Intel working, this would be a much better solution for many people. So let's try to really get this Intel working, because I would prefer that. All right, here we go. Let's reinstall the API toolkit. I don't think that's going to work, actually, being on Arch. Damn it. All right, let's cancel this. Somebody mentioned it earlier in chat. oneAPI. What's AUR? Someone's already figured this out, I bet you. I don't need to reinvent the wheel here. Intel oneAPI. I already have a bunch of them installed. This is the one right here. Okay, so it's already there. Oh, hell. Yeah. Yeah, I already have it installed, so... But when I try to source the set vars, it's trying to use PowerShell. PS? Oh, no. What? Why isn't that source working? Am I missing the error here? Yeah, probably would. Huh. No, it's not PowerShell. I don't know. It had PowerShell on my brain. PWSH is PowerShell. All right, go to llama build setup. You have the toolkit. All right, let's just go llama build setup. We already have the toolbox. Bam, we're back to llama. Here's the build. We don't have the syscl, which is kind of weird. Kind of bothers me. I wish we did, but we do not. We'll see if it gives a problem. Let's try to build this through llama.cpp. So right now, let's go to the CMake build. Let's just try to do a basic release, but we need probably this right here. If we don't add the CMake flag for SYCL, it's gonna be a problem. So let's go llama.cpp. I'm going to pull any changes, git stash, and we're going to pull changes from llama.cpp. So I'm sure there's been a lot of changes since the last time I did this. And we're going to go cmake, and then from the cmake folder, we should be able to do cmake build like this. ICPX. What do we think about that? SYCL from Pac-Man. All right, let's see real fast if there's any SYCL packages that we don't have. We already have this one, which is the Intel oneAPI MKL SYCL. And when we look at the OPT directory, get lost in the weeds here, guys, sorry. But if we don't set this up right, it's just going to not perform at all. You're just not going to work at all. Oh, see, that's not working. That's a broken link. Let's reinstall that and see if that fixes that link. I feel like we have something's amiss here. Let's just reinstall that. It's still not there. Yeah, that's what I'm looking at. That looks like a broken link to me. There is a llama.cpp SYCL AUR. All right, Simba, let's try that. Just to make sure. You said llama.cpp SYCL right here. Not very popular, that's for sure. So there is that one. This one's orphaned. This is what I get for doing Intel GPU. I hate my life. All right, let's just try it. Intel Deep Learning Essentials. What is that? June 8th. Oh, that's just the time it is now. that's not at all important. Yeah, if you have an Intel GPU, it should be just install the Docker container on Odysseus and then go. That's about as easy as it gets. Well, so here's the thing, guys. Like, let's say you have a 4080 or even a 5090, really. Well, no, 5090, no. 5090, you just use the Docker. But let's say you do have something less than a 5090 NVIDIA. This Intel card should just absolutely beat the living snot out of your NVIDIA card. With 32 gigs of VRAM, it's built for this specific task we're trying to do. This should be better than your NVIDIA card. But, this is a big but, the tool set and accessibility of people having this card is not good. And Intel does not have any market share. So support is very, very slim. AMD is not even in the conversation. AMD cards suck all the way around for any kind of LLM stuff. Yeah. I mean, I'm just being real. Yeah, my B70 mastered my 7900. Yeah. I mean, it's just any kind of processing, AMD cards are just not it. AMD cards are fine for gaming. Don't get me wrong. They're really nice for gaming. I'm just checking to see if we have any errors. I think I was missing this Intel Deep Learning Essentials package. We'll see what that does. That might be new. I don't know if AMD is going to improve their AI offering. I would imagine they would. I think everybody's trying to. All right, so this one, if you remember before, it erred a bunch on a bunch of dependencies we didn't have. But I believe the AUR would have fixed this script. Yeah, right now, AMD cards are more economical and they have usually more VRAM. But the problem is, NVIDIA cards with less VRAM are just going to outperform it because NVIDIA's done such a good job with their tool set. So that's the main issue. Now, Intel's trying here. AMD hasn't really even entered the conversation from my knowledge. Anytime I tried it on any kind of processing, like workload type stuff, not gaming, AMD's always been like absolute trash tier for any kind of work. So like I know for like video production, like Resolve, man, AMD was awful. As soon as I moved to Intel, like this Intel card outperformed my AMD. I think it was a 7800 XT. I can't remember. It was a good card though, and it was great for gaming and just everyday use. But as soon as I got into productivity work, and the AMD card really came up short. I was like, oof, I would have been better off with just a 4070 or something of a lesser quality in NVIDIA for that type of work. Yeah, Rock M is getting traction. Like I said, I really hope AMD kind of closes the gap. I just think Intel's going to close that gap quicker than AMD will. I hate NVIDIA, don't get me wrong. Don't take this as go out and buy NVIDIA. I would prefer just Intel GPUs to work in this case, and then we actually have a use case for the damn Intel GPUs. Other than, hey, at least we got a competitor. So if this could work, which somebody in chat earlier said it did work for them, hey, fantastic. We got a use case for an actual Intel GPU that's affordable, and you get a crap ton of VRAM. Man, that'd be pretty sweet. So, yeah, let's see what happens here. I mean, it did say successfully completed, which is nice. Let's see, we have other packages here too. No, sad face. All right. We have conflicting. Yeah, we have some conflicting. We have a dependency problem here. Tell you what. Let's just purge this. TCM, TBB. See if there's anything else here. We're gonna go ahead, purge this older version. I know this is like redoing it all, but what I'm gonna do is clear out all these old dependencies. I don't remember what the last time I built this damn thing, so let's see. Oops. that was an actual password prompt. None of those packages were upgraded though. We don't want to continue this until we get it done. Yeah. All right, so should dump all of the Intel oneAPIs. Let's just rebuild it. Is there anything I'm missing is the next question before I hit enter. I think that's everything. Let's see if there was anything else in here that we might have been missing that didn't get included in that flush. oneAPI common, MKL. Ah, damn. Let's just use the scroll. Okay, MKL. All right, let's purge all of this, which we just did. There's the debugger we're getting rid of. We're going to run out of history, aren't we? Yeah. Okay, this is just an insane install. All right, let's give it another try. We went ahead and purged the old one. Should I delete the old directory as well? Yeah, everyone's like, when it comes to Windows, you just don't use Windows for something like this. And I know what you're thinking. I want it to work on Windows. No. You think you do, but you don't. For real. I'm gonna just check real fast. I think I'm gonna purge the entire oneAPI directory. Just, you know what? We're just gonna do that. Let's just do a RF. I feel better if that was just gone. I don't know if the package manager mattered, but let's try it out. Here we go. What's the worst that could happen? Yeah, Odysseus can set up the LLM for you as long as you have an NVIDIA card, essentially. It doesn't do well with other GPUs. So if you're looking at this, NVIDIA, you should be pretty good. It should probably just Docker go. For other GPUs, like I have an Intel here, it does not work. Straight up. All right, we're going to rebuild and see what this does. Yeah, so I mean, this is kind of like discovery stream anyways. The Odysseus project looks like a great front end for a local LLM. We'll see. That's the whole point of doing this live, is just to kind of document the whole process. What are the gotchas? What can you do? What you can't do? We already talked about the prerequisites pretty extensively. I would say if you're going to do it, a high-end NVIDIA card. I would say at least 20 gigs of VRAM would probably be mandatory to have any kind of semblance of a usable system. I know like 99% of the people that try Odysseus is probably going to use it on like an integrated graphics machine. Could you imagine? That'd be absolute trash. But I think Odysseus could also, like, for those people that don't have the means for the hardware, you could just plug in your ChatGPT subscription or your Claude Code subscription and still feed it through there. I'm still hesitant to do something like that because I would prefer to use a project like Headroom that would decrease the token expenditure, because your tokens dictate how much AI stuff you can use. And if right now, like Codex, Claude Code actually has a bug that like multiplies token usage. So it records like just insane amounts of token usage. So it'll burn through your credits in such little time, to where you're going to want some kind of wrapper to reduce all the tokens. So you're not spending a bunch of money and you're not hitting your limits. The thing is, I don't want to pay $100 forever. You know, I don't want to be paying monthly fees of $20 to $100 just to use AI. I think that's just silly. That's not a future I want to live in. Yeah, the bug is called Anthropic. Yeah, I wonder. Yeah, we're doing llama.cpp with SYCL plugins for our Intel card. All right, that did look like it worked. Purging all the other ones and purging the old directory does look like it got us somewhere we need. Let's look at that OPT Intel directory now. All right, there is all of that. So let's source that set vars. Still have the same error, but I think it should be fine. So let's say you build it. Run the interface. List devices. Let's see if that works. What do we have? Do we have a bin or a build? We don't have either. Damn. Well. Let's see. Where did it install the llama? Llama.cpp. We could try it directly here. Yeah. Let's go. It should have installed it system-wide, shouldn't it have? Okay, what do we have? We have llama, CL. We do have llama CL device, so let's try that. It is installed. I was like, it installed. Okay. Error loading shared libraries. Oh, okay. libmk. I wonder. Please tell me it's not like a old version. No. Okay. MKL. Do we have like a library MKL that we could get? Let's try to install that. Let's install those. No. It's conflicting with our deep learning essentials. Huh. Damn. I think we don't have any choice but to build direct from source. Man. But everything's optimized for Ubuntu. Could do DistroBox. Switch it there. It's like be a container at that point. We could do a DistroBox and then build it all there. I don't know if DistroBox is gonna have access to the hardware in the system. I think it would. I don't know. What do we think, chat? Yeah. Does normal llama.cpp run? Let's try. The problem is the device is error out here, so we're not going to have access to our GPU probably. Let's just remove llama.cpp. I'm going to trash that. Get rid of some of this old stuff. Dump that as well. Damn. I'm thinking. Yeah, CL info list does show. The rebuild did clear out the Xeon platform on CL Info, which is nice. I say we go DistroBox. DistroBox create Ubuntu. All right, let's do that. Oh man. And then we'll just download the binary. Could you use llama.cpp on a Windows image to run? No, probably not. Would not recommend it. Intel toolkit is very rough around the edges. Hell, let's just ask Claude. Let's go with... Sucks. Not, we'll just do Ubuntu latest. Ooh. Actually, make sure it's LTS. Yeah. We're gonna do 2404. That's what we want right there.
Yeah, well, the dude abides.
Just watch WWDC. Please cleanse my brain. That's a guilty one for sure. Is 2604 out yet? I haven't even been keeping up with old Ubuntu. I know, shameful. When did the Ubuntu 26? April. Oh, okay, let's do 26. Let's make sure before we go do that. Let's look at the back end for the releases. This happened 12 minutes ago, so they are working hard on it. Currently, syscl is disabled there. Damn. Got AMD for ROCm, but nothing. Alright, we do need syscl. Maybe this one has syscl. Nope, that's disabled as well. Disabled. Disabled. Ah, shit, everything's disabled. They just like, nobody has an Intel card, screw them. Alright, what do we got? Yeah, so they aren't even building syscl. So the releases doesn't even have any Intel capabilities. Ugh. Bruh. I just want to catch break here. Yeah, it's like just download oneAPI, build. All right, they said F you, just compile yourself. All right, we're gonna go Ubuntu 26 on this DistroBox. Call it good. Which Ubuntu is that? 2604. What was it? Yeah, 2604. All right, let's go 2604. We will just pull a new image and we're going to build our own container for this bad boy. DistroBox. Enter Ubuntu Noble. All right, here we go, guys. Didn't really want to go this route, but this whole stream's just a frickin' mess. Yeah, this is what I get for cheaping out and going with an Intel GPU, huh? I should have just I should have just caved, spent the $8,000 on an NVIDIA GPU. Oh man. Nah, that never mind. That doesn't matter. 4070. Well, this technically should be better than a 4070 by a good margin. 4070 only has, I think, 12 gigs, doesn't it? Yeah. The 3090s, if you can find them, probably would be the best way to go. Oh yeah, the B70 is 1,800 out over in Aussie, in Australia. Yeah, I totally could see that. Yeah, I mean, this I feel is like the everyday man point of access for a local LLM. You know? Ah. Oh, well, all right. Yeah, okay. All right, so we got our new Ubuntu container set up, ready to roll. First off, do we have access to the card? That's the first thing we need to check, or this whole thing is just going to fail. Damn. We don't have access to the hardware through the DistroBox. All right. What's our options from here? I could just format my whole system and go to Ubuntu. Get rid of old Arch, yeah. Virtual machine won't expose the GPU properly. Pass through the GPU and then run off integrated graphics here. That's an option. Call Wendell. You guys are a bunch of trolls. I just want you to know that. Love you all, but let me check to see if we have onboard graphics. Damn. You know, I don't think this Xeon chip has onboard graphics, guys.
Yeah, well, the dude abides.
All right, difficult times require difficult choices. Yeah. I mean, I could reallocate that 1660 for onboard and then pass through the B70 into its own container and then build it from there. Yeah, most Xeons don't. What's Docker gonna get me? we can't access it on the actual hardware, guys, it's not going to work. Yeah, Docker's not going to be able to grab this stuff. The problem is the underlying OS doesn't have the libraries in the version that is needed to properly utilize this Intel card. That's the problem. Docker and all this other shit doesn't matter. You can't get your host OS to recognize your card properly, you're cooked. And we can't use those base packages to build it. So I'm thinking, because this is a difficult decision.
Yeah, well,
could pass the entire
due to binds.
directory to it, possibly. AFK, thanks for the sub, man. Much appreciated. Format. I'm leaning towards format and just installing the Ubuntu CLI. Or we could just do 1660 as the main and then pass through and change that to the B70. Yeah, but then I can't really game. And I do DaVinci Resolve out here too. I'm not editing videos on a 1660. That's just out of the question. And using this specifically for that. Yeah, let me try. I did do my repo for the B70 Arch setup. Let me see. Maybe I did figure that out. I did see someone link my repo. Where was that? Where were you? Yes. What did I do? All right, disable llama. Let's first clear out everything. Let's start from scratch. It's gonna be fine. All right, guys, let's give it another try. I think we gave up too easy here. First off, llama. All right, that's fine. Let's remove Gemma 4. Just trash the whole thing. I'll leave the models directory. Tree models. What do we have in there? We have a couple models there. Oh, 47 gig model. Oh, that was without any, we could probably do quantitative 4 instead of 5. 18 gigs, that seems like we didn't need that much for context. Anywho, I'll leave that. Let's go ahead and purge all the Intel OpenAPI stuff. Intel Open, or, what was that called? Oh, dude. I am drawing a blank. oneAPI. Alright, let's do QM actually. We'll just do Q. And then we're gonna grep Intel oneAPI. Maybe QM, sorry. No. Oh, all these are already purged. Yeah, I don't have any of this installed. Okay, okay. What was... Oh, that was it. All right. This Intel Deep Learning Essentials. Let's get rid of it. Help if I... Stupid Pac-Man syntax is awful. Let's purge all the llama.cpp and the deep learning. We're going to build it on my repo and call it good. And yeah, I agree. Let's purge all the Intel compute runtime as well. We'll go RCNS, Intel compute runtime. All right, that's done too. Now, let's go GitHub and cd Gemma for on Arch setup. What was this? Oh yeah, git pull. Already up to date. So let's make sure ollama is not running. Ollama was there. Let's remove ollama. I didn't think I had ollama installed actually. All right, I'm not using much out of the AUR actually. While I actually am doing this, let's get rid of some of these old Wayland stuff. All right, so that. All right, now let's just go with a Q, and we're gonna grep ollama. Let's try llama. No, okay, llama's not there. That's weird. I wonder why ollama was in the services. Anywho. All right. Now we're going to go base devil, git, cmake ninja. Then we're going to install all the different rundown for this. And we'll do cache. And we'll build it again. We already are part of the render group. Then we're going to validate our Arc visibility. So at least I made my own GitHub thing. So that's good. Everything's recognized. Then we can build the llama stack. Let's do that. We're going to clone that and change directory into it. Yeah, this is the top of the budget category for an LLM GPU. But as you see, it's a reason why it's on discount, so to speak. The tooling is not great. All right, initialize one compiler environment in the shell. All right, let's try that. Just want to see what that does. Then we're going to set the vars again. Okay. We'll go ahead and build out any of this. Obviously, that's going to be empty, but couldn't hurt. Now let's do the cmake build. All right, what do we got? ICX and ICPX. Missing a couple dependencies. What is ICX? What dependency would that be? That doesn't look like. Do a force. Okay, let's see. source dash dash force. Okay. Let's try to redo that build. Yeah, thank you. Thank you, Duo. All right, now we got a new error. Do we have like an old... Yeah. Let's maybe there was leftover configuration. Let's do that again. Okay, yeah, it was just leftovers. And then let's finish with the build. Hell, at least I recorded this the last time I did it, so I'm not completely... I don't know why, but a lot of open source people just don't do a good job with instructions. But I try to fix it when I do it and make decent instructions. Use a pre-built binary. Well, that would be great if the libraries were there, but they're not. So we can't use the pre-built. All right, let's see if we're missing any dependencies on this make. Right now, it's just a couple warnings, which is fine. That is all right. Because we did get it working. We were using, what front end were we using last time we did this, guys? Was it, I think it was OpenUI. Yeah, I wish I didn't have an Intel card at this point. We're an hour and a half into the stream, and I've been sitting here just troubleshooting Intel problems. Oh, well. Okay, verify you didn't keep GPU cache or CPU cache. Bro, all right, we're cooking. Perfect. Damn it, I love my... I want to go back in time and thank my past self when I made these instructions. Yeah. All right. We are good. This is built. Now, what we ran into is we were looking at llama. Well, let's see. We wanted to do llama. You guys remember what it was? Llama. Where's that syscl? I think just llama CLI, right? Yeah, we could just add the bin to the folder or the path. Let's do that. Alrighty. All right, great. Llama LS. Oh, okay. All right. Yes. Thank you, past Chris, for making instructions for yourself in the future. That was way, way better. Great. We are cooking. Pay no attention to the core dump. I think it's fine. I think. Let's see. Do we need to add that? Yeah, that's not a command. To completely disable security protection, add set auto load safe path in your configuration. Ah. Okay. Let's do that. In .config gdb init. Oops. Well, there ain't nothing there in the GDB init. But let's clear out some of these warnings, just so I get an idea. Cannot open no such file. Really? There's probably nothing there. We'll make it. We were close enough, guys. It was close enough. Come on now. We are right there now. We've got over the hump. There we go. These are all just basics. This is the warning. We're just going to disable the security protection. Auto loading. Then it does this. This looks like a debug throw, but let's try that again. Alright, that got rid of the warning. Registering syscl extensions for GDB. Threads there. Terminate call. Throwing instance exception. No device. Request type available. Intel 1 DHCP. Let's see on that. We might be missing one more dependency. Or maybe not. That looks fine. I do feel like we should install the oneAPI toolkit, though. What does that do? I feel like that shouldn't hurt anything. But I'd be wrong. That would totally wipe that out. Okay, we're good. Alright, guys. It looks like we got it. Somebody mentioned, why are you linking a ROCm install? That's we ain't using no AP AMD card. We don't do that here. Yeah. It crashes. So a bad sign. Well, we could try it out. Let's see. Let's see what Claude says, since you guys have so much faith in our old Anthropic. Let's see what they say about this. Let's ask about the crash. There's nothing there. None of them are set. The Intel Compute Runtime or Level 0 stack is not installed. They're missing either. Looks like they're there. We don't have Battle Mage XE2, so that's fine. And that should be okay. And then verify syscl can see your GPU. Let's see that. Ooh, here we go. That doesn't look good. I think we found the problem. Let's see what it happened. All right, two separate problems here. Set vars is interpreting ANSI color codes as paths. Ah. Oh. Okay. So, let's do that. That did not look like it worked. It still looked like it kind of bombed out on me. Let's try to source it in a clean environment. Sure. Okay, that worked a lot better. All right. That looks better. Now the second problem is libtpp is missing. We're probably just missing the dependency. It says it's installed. No? Yeah, it's there. Alright, and not found after sourcing. Okay, well that should be fine once we source the path. So, let's go sys or SYCL. That's not there. Llama ls. See, we could try that. I want to say it's probably going to overwrite though, because I want to say it uses a different. Yeah, that did not like that at all. Let's just do SYCL, see what packages. That's installed. Yeah. I mean, technically this should work right here. But that's the one that wants to install the deep learning, which would conflict with all our dependencies. Oh, lordy. Oh, let's try llama. Nope. Llama ls. All right, now we're golden. All right, now we're there. Bam. So the big thing out of this was setting. All this other was not needed, but clean environment for set it sourcing. Let's add that real fast. All right. Blanks found around. That's fine. There we go. All right, we'll update that. Now we're good. So now we could start the server, and we should be good to go. So let's go llama server. We can finally get back to here. Where's our Pewds instance? Is it still running somewhere? Yeah. Nope. Yep. All right. Localhost, was it 7,000 he was running? All right, Odysseus. Setup local and local llama.cpp or llama server. What was so now we should be able to do cookbook, right? Let's see. Running. All right, stop all, clear finish, clear. So this is the download. Can we run? What do we have? Oh, come on. Let's go serve, local. This is just the models though. Let's exit. What do we need? Do we relaunch? What are we doing here? Settings. Okay, let's go settings. This is the local model. So I guess we just need to launch it in system D and then plug in the endpoint here. Yeah. All right, let's try launch, and I kind of wanted to do the auto add model situation, but oh well. So you go llama server and then set up the models. We already have Gemma going, but I mean, this should be fine. We could do just llama serve and then plug in the model and the port. Then we could test it. At least we could try it on the Gemma 4. Oh, this was a Quant 5 on the build on the model, though. Let's try it. And I think 4 would have been better. But I don't have that model readily available. Oh, what do we have here? No device available. Okay. But we did do... Okay. We do have it, right? Okay, this isn't working because we need to relaunch and set the vars. Reload. That's okay. That's why I documented it. Well, don't worry. We can set all this up prior to any of this. Let's go. Oh, I did update that, right? Oh. Poop. I forgot. Disregard. 1 second. I screwed up when I did this. Boop. Alright, let's do that. Alright, there we go. I didn't read my warning. Alright, that should fix it. Now, now we should have our note. If you can't source or have issues to set a clean environment, boom, we'll copy this. And then we paste this in. We now have the oneAPI environment initialized. It actually shows the Xeon and the graphics. So let's look at our CL devices. Still throwing an error. What changed? We did get it working. I'm not going crazy, am I, chat? Yeah, Duo is probably the closest thing. I'm going to check Duo's chat messages. He'd probably be the closest to help me here. Yeah, so we set the source. I feel like we needed to unset it and then set it again. I don't know. Yeah, I don't think I want to add it to bashrc. I probably would do it like a systemd file. Yeah, so you need to set environment each time you call so it won't crash. Okay. And if we look at this, I set the environment, it initialized, and then it was good, right? But it still crashed here for some odd reason. Why? Let's plot it. What happened with that? Yeah, can't fire up an agent to solve this. It's true. Oh, that sucks. Okay. Okay, that looks better. So, oneAPI device selector needs to be that. So, then when I launch it, okay, let's say I launch this. Let's relaunch the llama server, and we should have a functional. Yeah. No. Why not? Oh, no such file. Oopsies. Let's... Oh, it's just models. 1 second. So, just models. And then it's just Gemma 4. This is the one I've already built. I didn't want to rebuild this. Don't worry, we're going to build something better. Just want to get it working first. Still didn't have that model. Well, gosh darn it. All right. Helps if you actually got the proper file name. Okay. So we have a running llama server. We have Odysseus up. We finally got there. It should have full control of the GPU. And we now can paste the local host. Good Lord. I hope no one rewatches this live stream afterwards. This is a hot mess. I need to streamline so much of this. All right, so this is working. We're utilizing the entire 32 gigs on the Intel Arc B70. We should be hosting that. What was the... At 127, so localhost 11434. So, should just be HTTP 127.0.0.1 colon. What's the port? Port 11434. Yeah, once we get AI up and going, we can just go to town, right? Now, let's test that, see if that works. Okay, offline. V1 test offline. Damn. Is it V2? Okay, that says 404. V1. Hey! Alright, there we go. I don't know what changed. Maybe there's a space in there. Add. Holy shit. We've got a model. Alright. So, everything's in, right? Am I missing anything? What is the current price of Bitcoin? Cool. What's this agent? Oh, that's agent if it's code. Okay, so chat. Enable search down next to chat. All right. You gotta have web search on to call that. What is the current price of Bitcoin? Oh, I can hear the GPU. Those Intel GPUs are weird. All right, what do we got? 2 seconds, 3 seconds, 4 seconds. How long do we think this is going to take? All right. That worked. Yeah. Next. Oh, I don't know. What should we do next? 40 tokens. I mean, that's not bad. What's the next thing? Deep search. Okay, deep research. A multi-step web research for LLM loop. All right. Create a plan for porting Dank Linux Dank Material Shell to from Wayland to X11 in a DW1 environment. DWM setup. Deep research. Why can't Christize read chat? All right, let's try it. This seems like a pretty insane ask. All right, so it's going to create a plan to port DankMaterialShell, which is Wayland only, to X11. So this is a massive port. DankMaterialShell is like, dude, huge project. I should have probably fed it like all the local files. Can you run Gemma with a 6 gigabyte? Yeah, you probably do like Quant 6 on the Gemma. Which one do we end up on? I think it's 26B. Yeah, we're Gemma 4 26B with a Quant 5. We could do a Quant 4 on this GPU because it has 32 gigs. Right now we're reserving like, dude, 14 gigs for context. I think that's a little excessive. This is an insane ask, by the way. That's why I did it. Does it show token usage or oh. So 14 sources. Yeah, so we probably should have done a spec sheet for this. But I mean, technically, it's creating a plan, so it should create a spec sheet for it. Now, for coding, what model should we use? What should we build here? Yeah, I guess I know this. I know the GPU's cooking because there's Intel B70s have like the most unique coil whine I think I've ever heard. I have a very closed case, and I can hear it. So that's kind of impressive. Qwen's better for coding. Okay. So if we go over here, you can see this is Odysseus over here, and this is our llama.cpp built with the SYCL. It is a going. How many is this token usage? Yeah, tokens per second, around 20 tokens per second. Context 200 megs. Number of tokens 2000 so far. All right. Alrighty. Does it show current progress? All right. Still churning. CPU load. Let's check that. What do we got? CPU load. A nice 10%. Not using the CPU at all. GPU load would be... Oh, what's the GPU tool for checking usage? NVTop? I think it is NVTop. Oh, yeah. Yeah, look at that bad boy. It is a going. Fans, 2000 RPMs. Temp. Actually, not that bad. About an 80C. Not too shabby. Just churning away. We're only using 20 gigs of the 32 gigs. Again, doing a quant of 4 instead of 5 would be ideal here. Since we have more VRAM to spare. The lower your quant, the higher VRAM usage, and just generally the better results you're going to get. All right. And that is still churning. I don't know what that's going to look like. Yeah, you smell the tokens. So I did this exact same thing because if you don't follow me, I have been trying Wayland a whole bunch, and I really love DankMaterialShell, and I really love like NoctaliaShell, but I always run into bugs with GIMP editing with Wayland, and then also like just weird artifacting that happens, like just browsing Gmail, for instance. So I'm just not a fan of like window managers with Wayland. I've used DWM X11 for, I don't know, it seems like an eternity now. And it's been around for decades that's plural, so like 20 plus years. And it just works. But I know this looks ugly. So I thought, hey, I'm going to feed it how to take these new shells in Wayland and port them into the old stuff. I thought that would be cool. So I did that a couple nights ago using Claude. And I had about $20 worth of usage. And I burned through that $20 of usage in about an hour. So within that, and I looked at the usage once it hit the cap and it started going into my budget. I noticed it got up to towards the end there, it grew in how much it costs to almost $1 a minute. So I was using $1 of compute per minute with that massive project, which we're running in the background on old Odysseus here, porting this deep research from Wayland to X11 with XCP backends. It is going to town. It's 7 minutes in, and I know the context and everything just kind of keeps growing and growing and growing. Now, this should be split up into a bunch of different parts, and I don't anticipate this actually yielding any fruit. But I know this context, just what we're feeding it for this prompt's an impossible task. Something that I imagine it will fail. But it's still fun to test. So anyways, we're up to tokens per second is actually increased up to 37. Did it spawn another agent, you think? Oh, damn, it's up to 50 tokens per second. It's got to be spawning more agents at this point. What do we think? Man, give it shell access and leave it overnight. I mean, I'd be game for that. Bud called it as soon as I made the switch. He's like, I knew it. I knew it. I know Titus too well. Yeah, right you are. Was that checkpoint 3 out of 32? I didn't even see. I mean, I anticipate this to fail because I'm not using the best model for this either. Like Gemma, this is like a Qwen thing all the way around. Why would you use Gemma? Especially if a Quant 5 where we could have done a Quant 4. So it's like, huh? But it's still pretty cool. What's kind of messing with me is the token count keeps climbing. So this token count started around 20 tokens per second. And now it's climbed up to 60 tokens per second. And this is the llama.cpp backend that we built. And if we look at GPU usage, you can see it's just going ham here. The memory usage is still only 20 gigs of our 32 available, though. So we still have plenty of headroom here to do stuff with. Does PewDiePie's Odysseus spawn more agents? I'm inclined to say yes, maybe. Because the tokens per second just keeps multiplying. Or it could be a bug. I don't know. Says it's writing the report. Either way, man, this is pretty damn cool. So while it's doing that, let's go do something else. Let's close that guy out. Oh shoot, did that cancel it? This is what it made? Yeah, this is all right. Does PewDiePie have like an IQ of 200 and we just didn't know? He's just been playing us for fools all along? I feel like that's a thing. The fact he's made anything remotely as good as this is just kind of left me speechless. He's played us all for fools. He was sitting there pretending like, hey, all I can do is game commentary and just make funny noises, essentially, in a Swedish accent. But he played us all for fools. That's like the one painfully obvious thing out of this entire thing. He played us all for complete and utter fools. Oh, this is really good. I haven't run into any factual inaccuracies yet using this shitty model. Interesting. QML with QuickShell actually has an X11 interface, so you can convert these QuickShell frameworks to that. So it's optimized for Wayland, but it does have support for X11. The framework must be able to support X11 XCP protocols, allowing to communicate. Windows person. Okay. This is really good. What? All right, let's get a new model. I'm kind of like, what the hell? Okay. Like, I figured this would just give me a bunch of garbage. It did not. That's probably better than what Claude can give me. Wow. The one thing, though, whenever I clicked X out of here, I should have minimized it instead of hitting X, because that kills the process. I'm kind of curious, if I left it just churning, it probably would have keep getting better and better. So, yeah. Wow. All right, let's see. Oh, llama. Qwen 3 coders next. Okay, let's try that out next. Qwen 3 coder. Let's see if we can get it going. Size, holy shit, that's a big model. Oh, you know what? Earlier I said Q4 would have been better. Q6 is what I meant. I guess when you go up in quant, that's when the size increases. Okay. Does Qwen 3 have something that can go on a 32 gig GPU? Okay, let's go models. Oh, sorry, guys. Everyone's saying they're burning their retinas out. Bunch of babies. Oh my word. Alright. Dark reader. Reload. There you go. Gosh. Alright, let's go Qwen 3.635 would probably be the one. Alright, let's go Qwen 3.6. Qwen 3.6. That's a thinking model. Don't we want, for code, do we want that? We might be able to do like a 27B. How big is that model? Oh no, we could do a 35B. That's a 24 gig model. Images and text. Context 256. Would this be good for coding, you think? Qwen 3.6 35B? Hugging Face Collections, Unsloth, Qwen 3.6. Let's see what you guys got. It's the mixture of an experts one. It's really good. Alright, let's try this one. Is this the one chat thinks? You guys would know better than me. I'm just shooting in the dark here. Alright, let's see what we got from that one. The 37 dense is nice. Okay. And we want the mixture of an experts one. The MOE. The Mo. So we got 37B. $37B Mo. Where are you at, Mo? No Mo. All right. I don't have to. A3B is MOE. Okay. So A3B is the mixture of experts. This one. Is this one too big though? Let's see, how big is it? We still need to leave some room for context, but okay, Qwen 3.6. Beating the poop out of Google. All right. All right, we got 35 AB, A3B. Let's go. Can we download this so we don't have to compile it? I had to compile one of these and it sucked. It took forever. Let me log in. I think I have a login already. Okay, dismiss. All right. We're logged in. All right, check the usage guide. Thank you, Duo. You can tell the people that actually use this stuff. All right. 3B. So we go 6-bit? Yeah. Okay, so 6-bit would give us 30. Do we want to push it? That only gives us 2 gigs for context in the VRAM, though. Is that going to be enough? Interesting. Okay. So, how the hell do I download this model? Use this model. I think llama.cpp. So we get CPP. Build from... Oh, shit. We gotta build it. No, we already built llama.cpp. So we should be able to just download this model. What am I missing? Like a toddler, you have to teach me how to download this thing. Where's the download button? It's so much easier if they just give me a CLI command. Click the model top right. I clicked the model. Copy model name to clipboard. Llama HV model AME. No, the giant list. Oh, I got you. So we want 6-bit, right? Or should we go 5-bit? I feel like 5-bit would give us a little bit of wiggle room, right? There's so many models. I see it. Okay, so probably the 5-bit model. Do we go UDQ5KXL? Yeah, too little context for 6-bit, I agree. Or do I go Q5KM, or do I go Q5KS? What's the difference here? All right, so I got one person for KXL. Okay. So I imagine this is K small, K medium, K extra large. That's how I read it, based on some of the formatting here. All right, let's go XL. We're gonna go Q5XL.
Yeah, well, the dude abides.
All right, Monito, thank you so much. We'll go download. We're going to put this in our home models directory. It's cool. You don't have to... Noise. All right. Then we just wait for that to download. It is downloading, right? Damn it. Brave, don't tell me you did this. Oh, you dirty. Dirty, Brave. I just want to use the model, man. All right, let's go download again. Downloads? Oh, no, it's downloading. Oh, we're good. Okay. It is downloading. You could download directly from the CLI as well. So if you do llama-server, since we're at a 32 gig, we want a Q5. But let's say you have like a 24 gig card, you probably would want a Q4. Now, the mixture of experts. What's the difference between like mixture of experts and the other models? Commands are in the Run Models tab. Now, I just wonder if I could modify the Odysseus to... Yeah, this is... So, yeah. I think I pick the model that I choose, and then I just run it through like a systemd. I don't think we can do too much other than that because of our Intel. It's not going to be able to manage multiple models within Odysseus doing it this method. Well, we're already going to have a pretty large memory context. We'll have like 6 gigs of memory context. Yeah, we're not going to use llama. We got to use llama.cpp because we're using Intel. Intel GPUs because I'm not a millionaire. I never know if he's asking chat or thinking out loud. Is there a difference? We are one brain, I thought. Yeah. The 5090, I think, is only 24 gigs, right? Oh, no, it's 32 gigs of memory for the 5090. Ooh, damn. How much are 5090s? $50.90 price. Oh. 5,000? Okay, well. Yeah. Oh, here's a 5080. No. Yeah, probably mid 4,000s. Okay, that makes sense. Man, almost 5K for just a GPU. What a world. Yikes. All right, we're going to load this model up, and then I'm kind of curious to see what happens. Better off getting a Strix Halo 128 gig for that price. Yeah.
Well,
damn.
The dude abides.
Oh, thanks, Chris. I got the physical book coming out for the Linux book coming up here in next week, actually. It'll have like notes, so like as you learn Linux, you can just write in it. I kind of wanted the book to be not like a regular technical novel. I hate all technical books, and I kind of wanted to make it to where you can just kind of write in it. So I made like little notepad lines and everything, so it'd be more physical. For physical people out there, I wanted a physical book. That was a pain in the ass to make, by the way. Manuscripts are not fun to do. I did not know, but here we are. What did you think about the LTT video where he built a custom PC for Linus Torvalds? I like that. I thought it was great. I mean, that's the one thing Linux. I'm always like, typically when I'm talking about LTT, it's like when he tries Linux, and it's always kind of cringe. But like, you got to remember, LTT, he's built probably thousands of computers. It's like me installing Windows. You know, he's built a ton of them. That's what he did for a decade plus. So I thought that was pretty cool. I'm sure he can build a good PC. He's done it a ton. Way more than me. So that's so cool, though. All right. Let's see. I mean, honestly, if we get this working really well with that, I think we should have... How much context can we go up to? We have 32 gigs of VRAM. The model itself's 24.8 gigs. How much context can we give it? Does anybody know? Should we ask Claude? Or actually, let's ask Odysseus. Okay. I am downloading a... Okay, I'm downloading a... What model is this? Blah, blah, blah. No. Yeah. Downloading. Bloop. For my 32 gigabyte VRAM Intel B70 GPU to run in llama.cpp. What context size should I give it? Question mark. All right, model's done. It's thinking. 128's what chat's saying. I'm game. All right, to determine the best context size, we need some VRAM math. For Qwen 6 point, it's likely a typo, meaning no, it's not. 3.6 has been released. Damn it, Gemma. All right, we got to get rid of this brain dead model and move to a better one. The 35B parameter model using group query attention. Okay, So that would be about 26.25, which this is 24.8, but okay. Available headroom, 32, so about 5 gigs. Determining context size. Depends on precision and KV cache. 3 ways to handle this. FP16 cache safe route. Estimated context capacity with 5 gigs remaining. You'll likely be capped at roughly 16K. I don't think we're doing it that way, though. I think we're doing quantized KV cache, high context route. Yep, that's what we're doing. And which queue are we on? Q5? Yep, Q5. So 4-bit, you can likely reach 128K context. Shit, all right, let's go. So, context size, -C. Let's go up to 128 and see what happens. Critical flags, essential for long context performance. Flash attention. Massive memory capacity. Slightly perplex penalty. Pro tip for Intel GPUs. Since you're using a B70 with SYCL or OpenCL, ensure you're using the flash attention flag. Good to know. Significantly reduces the memory footprint and increases the speed of the context processing prefill stage, which the vital working. All right, let's do it. Game. Shall we? All right, guys. So context, we're going from 32 gigs or 32K up to 128K. And we also need to add per gemma here the flash attention. Context, Yep. There we go. Yeah, LM Studio is not going to work for us, guys. We're an Intel user. You fancy rich people out there with NVIDIA chips can use all these nice GUI tools, but for us Intel users, the backend can get a little rough. Wouldn't have it any other way, though. Y'all know me. I like to be cheap, and we are just going to rock that. All right, no argument flash attention for llama server. Invalid for llama server. Well, what's going on with that? All right, what's chat saying? Oh, it's double. Double dash. All right. You might have won this round, chat. We'll see. All right. You will say on. All right. We now are on the Qwen 3.635 A3B mixture of experts quantitative 5 model running locally with Odysseus. Let's go settings. Let's set up our model since I'm a bit of a cheap ass. And we're going to have to click to manage models. Refresh, please. Can we refresh? Okay, refresh to Qwen. I wonder, can we load this with more? I don't know. Oh, I guess we could add it again. There's got to be a way to switch the AI models on the fly. Although, if I'm on Qwen, I'll probably be good. All right. Right. Oh. Okay. Yeah. All right. Write a basic bash script. Oh, no. Let's go write a systemd service to launch llama serve. To launch. Dot, 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 dot. Copy. 1 second. We're going to paste this in. But we also need to set the environment like this. 1 second. What was that environment set? Okay. And then we set the environment. But then, on top of this, what else am I missing? I'm missing something, right? All right. I think that's good. Make no mistakes. Let's go. All right. Qwen 35B A3B's thinking on its first problem. Surely this is going to turn out well. We added the make no mistakes, so obviously it should be fine. You misspelled make only mistakes. No. It's fine. It's fine. All right, Qwen's thinking. It ain't the fastest model, I'll say that much. Let's look at the CLI output, see how we're looking. Oh, tokens per second, 56, man. Look at this, it's churning through. We're over 2,000 tokens. We're like Jerome Powell at the Fed, just printing money now. Look at this. Oh, yeah, that's what I'm talking about. All right. I like it. NV top, you can see it spike up. Look at that GPU just humming along. Hear that beautiful Intel nasty coil whine on that B70 card. Highly recommend some insulation and putting that below your desk if you're going to go to this route. But it is efficient. All right. Here is a production-ready systemd file that correctly handles your environment setup, runs Llama server with your exact arguments. Okay, simple service. Fill in username and group. I'll probably just wipe out group and just use user. Get rid of comment. Set environment home. Okay. And then it sets that for the pre-execution. Environment file, temp env. Load the source environment. Can you do... Yeah, you can do comments in sysd files, can't you? All right. So this is Llama server service. Rest in peace, Power Spill. It is getting a little toasty in here. Got a nice little hand warmer down here. That looks pretty good, y'all. I gotta say. That looks really good. Oh, add the force for the set vars. Oh, yeah. Duo's got a good point here. So for the set vars, set the environment, and then set vars, there should be a dash force. 2 dashes, right? Double dash. I mean, this is pretty damn cool. Frankly, I'm just happy we got here, guys. I mean, should we move this to a systemd service? What do y'all think? What were we at? We were cooking 60-something tokens per second. And overall, I'm really liking what we got. I think we're there. Hell yeah. This is my main system, yeah. All right, let's go. Can't wait for wintertime to get here. Unfortunately, I'm in Texas. My electric bill, the AC unit just cried. I could hear it. The coil whine from my AC unit might outdo the coil whine from the Intel because this is heating up this room and the AC's kicking on. Rest in peace, power bill. Anyways, totally worth it. Think of the memes. We've got it. Let's go. I think this is amazing. All right, let's try it. So we're going to shut it down. Oh, we're on the dev branch of Odysseus, by the way. Oops. Oh, well. Where are we putting this file? Let's just build the llama server service, and then we'll just paste it. Okay. We'll build it in this llama server dot service. We're gonna just build it right here. Fix a few. We're going to do -- force. That was 2 dashes on the force, right, Duo? Yeah. All right. We got the force flag. I'm going to get rid of group. User. Do we do root or we'll do our user. I think it should be fine. That's good. Set the environment. It's going to the temp directory into that. Llama server is on a path to. Let's which llama server. Llama build. That's going to be in this directory. Let's copy that. Path 2. Path 2. Where'd you? I saw a path 2. Yeah, there it is. There we go. Paste. All right, so we got our llama server full path. We've got full path of our Qwen model. We've got that, What else we got? Do root. I don't always give my LLM root access, but when I do, I mean, when in Rome. Oh, dude, I need to get some solar panels. Totally. We'd be great. All right, so we got that. Let's check what we'll do. So we'll copy this to the etc system directory. We'll do a daemon reload, enable now, llama server, and then we can check with the status. All right, let's go. Copy llama server etc system d system. Alrighty, bam. I feel like there should be a @ symbol for this service, right? Need to set it up to where we can inject specific models into the agent on launch, and then we can go, okay, fire up this service. I don't know how to do that yet. So, anyways, let's go sudo. We'll worry about that another day. Daemon reload. It's a cool idea. You could do it in user, probably. If you're doing this, don't do it like I'm doing it. Probably put it in the user and then do a systemctl -- user. Probably would be a better idea than giving it root access. It's not probably. It is a better idea. But for science, I mean, it would be kind of cool if this entire LLM nuked my whole system. Think of the views. All right, llama service now. All right, that failed. All right. What failed? All right. Fix it. Fix it, local LLM. Oh. It's not operational just yet. 1 second. Hold on. 1 second. We got to relaunch our model here. We had a brief problem. It couldn't fix itself because it killed itself. So let's try that again. All right. And now we should go back. All right, my bad. Can't fix itself if it killed itself. Qwen, I'm dead, bro. You know, I don't really like using SYU for a Pac-Man. I mean, typically these days I do top grade. I did a video on it, so if you haven't done top grade, I highly recommend updating your system with that, because it updates not only your system packages, but like all the packages. So Python packages, hell, it even goes in like NeoVim extensions, code extensions, all of that. It's pretty great. So I really like top grade. Could you imagine setting this up in NixOS? Oh, lordy. That would be fun. Let's see what's the token spin look like now. Just churning along. 3,000 tokens. 60 tokens a second. Ask it to rewrite StreamerBot to Rust. Oh, man. Oh, things I won't do for 500, Alex. I'd rather use NixOS. Use Qwen Q4. You think Q4 would be faster? Looks like it's done. All right. I like it. So it says 60 tokens. It only used 3% context. Dude, look at that. It didn't even touch the context window. We could have gone way, way harder. Okay. So what happened here? Didn't have access to the temp directory. You think that root would have access to that, though. Tell systemd. I like how it explains it. Seems better than a lot of the online equivalents. Bro. We use systemd's runtime directory feature. What variable is the %h? Is that new? I guess %h is home directory in systemd. I've never seen that. Ah, it sets it right here. Oh, wacky. I've never seen anything do that. Will that work? No shit. That looks messed up to me. It's not anything I would usually write. When in Rome, though. PewDiePie's taking the wheel now, guys. We're going for it. Let's roll. I think it's gonna fail, but for science, I would never write a systemd service like this. And I'm always up for trying something new. A llama.cpp. What? What the F happened here? Oh, wrong one. My bad. Anyways, alrighty. Disregard. Yeah, my bad. My bad. I got it. Let's just roll. I'm not even gonna change anything, guys. It has enough context. Let's just pretend like we don't know anything, and we're gonna do systemctl daemon reload, and we're gonna come back here. We're gonna kill this process, right? And then we're just gonna start it back up. Failed again. All right, we might actually have to use our brains and look at the error. Yeah, permission denied for the temp file. All right, I'm just gonna write it. Why? Llama server. All right. Whoa, let's go. Wait. No, that was right. Okay. Did we not paste what we had in here? And it did take out the force as well. What happened here? All right, let's go simple. We'll assign it to our user because honestly, that's what you should do anyways. Let's be a good example. Let's do a -- force there. Fix that up. That was weird. For some odd reason, it didn't work for me. Anyways, let's go daemon reload. This probably still won't work. It looks wacky to me. So let's look at it again. This time, what do we got? All right, 301. That's the same one. Cannot determine credentials for group Titus, unknown group. Okay, well. What groups do we have? Users. Let's just do users. That's fine. All right, we'll fix that error. Daemon reload, re-enable. Did that work? Really now? It says it's still activating. It's not errored though. Looks like it's stuck activating the environment. It says in the start pre, it's still stuck. Okay, now it's on. Nah, it shows it's exited. Yeah, ain't no way that %H is legit. I agree. I think it's the model path. I 1000% with agree with you, good sir. Yeah. I think it hallucinated. I would do a $home. What's this home equals %H here? Like, how is that even being referred to? Is that in... Let's look at our... What was the actual one? Yeah, home. Like, what? What are you doing? Nah. It's like, what is that? Home equals home. Path. That's fine. I almost want to add the path name for the llama service as well. Llama server. Let's go ahead and expand this out as well. Which llama serve. Just in case it's not there. So I don't want it missing that as well. So let's just go llama serve right here. We're going to go full path. Just in case it doesn't have access to the global path and that isn't plugged in, it'll just always refer to it. So then we got home. I mean, honestly, we don't even need home. Do we want to even bother with the home variable? I really don't, actually. Oops. Yeah, I feel like you go... Whoa, what happened here? Did I screw up my config? I think I did. Oh, what? Okay. Let's go here. And we're just going to go home, Titus. Uh-huh. And I missed my entire thing again. Oh my god. My brain is going. Alright, here we go. Let's grab that full path. Once more with feeling this time. Now your pants are blue. Bam. Alright, so we got the full path for both the model and the executable. So that, I think it was just not finding it in this, because I think it's in like a sourced, like specific environment, and I just don't think it's able to find it. You liar. Now, let's just do a reload. Now we can do that. And then we check the status. Boom. It was close. I'm going to give it a pass. It wasn't great. It got us like 90% there. You still had to use your brain a little bit, so eh. But it was close. It's the price of Bitcoin now. Ah. Says model offline. Refresh. Kept cache models. Refresh. Oh, it's not doing it. Dang. Do I not have access to it? Localhost. colon. What was that? 11434. v1 test. Okay, that's there. Well, it seems like it's there. Yeah, there he goes. I can hear it. Okay. Not too shabby. Current date, June 8th, 2026. Perfect. I can hear my AI work. All right. Anything else you guys can think of? Yeah, I have SearXNG set up already. It was set up in, I think, what was it? A month ago when we did SearXNG? I think about 60 tokens, give or take, Carl, for the what I'm getting. I don't know how good that is in comparison to everything. Everything looks like it works, though. It's SearXNG on Odysseus. I think, let's look at the settings. Is there anything else here? Search. Yeah. It already got SearXNG. So you can just test it. Actually, that's wrong. One second. It is not using what I thought it's using. Oh, where's that? Manage.
Yeah, well, the dude abides.
Yeah. Okay, 8081. I couldn't remember. Tom, thanks for the prime. So let's set that up on. All right. Was that a? I can't remember. Was that? No, it's just HTTP, not secured. Okay. So we go HTTP colon. This is hosted elsewhere on my server. I think it's on my NAS right now. I'm about to switch all that out though. Let's test that. Perfect. So that's an integration. I don't want to run everything on this system. So, but you could just do self-hosted through a Docker or whatever. What other integrations we have? API, Cloud Agent, Codex Agent, Contacts, Email, MCP Tool Server. Probably would do like a... What's the MCP Tool Server? I wonder if you could implement headroom for this so then it would reduce token counts. It'd not really matter too much for us, but... Yeah, for sure. Cause a global outage here. Let's add an MCP server. Might be good though. For this. What's a good one? For some odd reason I want to say Series 7. Why am I drawing blank on MCP servers? I have been live streaming for almost 3 hours. What phone you using? Oh, just a Pixel 10. I hate it. I never really use it. Ask Qwen for the MCP. Oh, yeah. Let's do that. Perfect. I keep forgetting. What is the best MCP for Qwen self-hosted model? Been rocking the Florp MCP. Really? Florp has an MCP? Interesting. Yeah, I probably how to access and utilize this. I probably need to wire it up with my Zed and then give that access. I think for tomorrow's stream we'll probably do a Zed integration with Qwen, and I think I need to work on headroom and wrapping all these LLMs so they just don't use as many tokens. Best for coding and IDEs, Qwen. Oh, okay, well this is just models though. That's not really what we want, right? That's not right. Use Qwen code. Qwen-MCP tool, which are designed to let other AI systems like Claude use your Qwen code as a tool rather than Qwen using MCP tool. Did it just give me a malicious repo? Thanks, Qwen. All right, well, that's something. I don't know. We'll see. All right, let's go mcpservers.org. I agree with you. That's funny. We'll try that one from Oglub as well. Awesome MCP servers. These are all alphabetical. Context 7 is what I was thinking of. I've used them a bit in the past. MCP server in Rust. 7 people use this. Ugh. Hard pass. Yeah, probably just do a context 7 MCP at this point. I know context 7 is pretty up to date. And we can just grab our API key from their dashboard. Yeah, I probably would just do like a local context 7 npm. Ooh. Installs fine doc skill that guides your agent to fetch up-to-date libraries using context. Oh, well. CLI and skills. That sounds good. But really all we need is the MCP. Let's just do the MPC server. We'll say open code for this. Oh, well. 1 second. Do. All right, CLI is authorized. Okay. Okay. That gives that. We got the MCP configured with API code. I went ahead and set it up in open code because I remember PewDiePie in his videos saying he forked open code for a lot of the back end of this. So now that that's set up, we'll have to check that out. All right. What do we think for MCP? So integration, MCP. Yeah. Oh, I feel like this is just... You know what? We need to try this anyways. Let's take this. We're going to go add MCP context 7 to Odysseus. We'll paste the image in. Give step by step. I would imagine this would fail. Now, from a context standpoint, yeah, we'll be using open code. I mean, it's pretty damn good. Definitely usable. That is correct. All right. Get the API key. Locate your Odysseus configuration in your Docker Compose. You'll see an MCP folders directory. This is where Odysseus reads custom MCP tools. You create the file here with the context key. And then you just restart it and then verify. So you can't add it necessarily right there in the well, let's see. Is there a spot for an API key? Kind of. It's kind of a jank integration for that MCP. Probably would just do it like this and just grab that. But maybe not. Yeah. Just don't know exactly the format for that. Anything else in here? Email I don't want to mess with. Reminders, appearance. It's pretty good. Theme. Is there a Nord theme? No. No. Ah, perfect. It's exactly the theme I needed. Retro wave. Ooh, forest, ocean. Terminal. I kind of like terminal. That's kind of neat. Lavender. Oh, that's just perfect. Actually, I think I'm going to go with Claude. I feel like that's a good in-between. Yeah, sorry, guys. Just want to make sure you guys were still awake. All right, I think that's enough for today. We've cooked up Intel B70 working with PewDiePie's Odysseus project. We had it build a system D service using that. We downloaded a new model. Feels pretty good. Only took 3 hours. Tomorrow, I think we need to work with headroom, making that work. Probably might touch on just using codecs and wiring that into Z for an agent, but also can we wire like Odysseus in without going to the web? Because at the end of the day, I rarely use the web GUIs for my AI usage. I know most people probably do. For me, not so much. But I use it extensively for coding. So most of my stuff's CLI based. I don't know if we can wire it for CLI or not with Qwen. I bet we can. I just don't know what that harness looks like. I think with headroom I could do it, and I might even use headroom even with the local AI, just because I think that would save on token cost and that would just make things faster. So yeah, tomorrow about noon, CST file. I think we should have it. Yeah, I think it should be good though. I'd be really interesting on that. Yeah, in CLI just use a harness. Yeah, I agree with you. So probably that would make more sense. The only reason I'm thinking I would like to feed it in Odysseus just so I could see the history easily. I do like the idea of me having like this entire portfolio of stuff I've done that I can easily reference at any point in time based on past AI usage that I would have that I could pull from. So that's where my attraction to this project is. It's still pretty cool. I will say for most people, this is plenty good. The setup I could streamline a bit. I know most people are going to want to watch a 3-hour stream, but I at least wanted to document this process. As you saw, it was a bit of a headache because of my GPU. I think if we were just using an NVIDIA like 5090, you could just do the Docker and you'd be up and going in like 15 minutes, maybe 30 minutes. And there's much more back-end work to get it all functioning the way it should function. Specifically for the Intel GPU, and then like some of the MCP stuff I was noticing, I was like, I'd probably use Context 7 in that respect because I've used it in the past. I'd like to wire in like headroom. I'd like to wire in some skills and get that going. We didn't test on that, so probably skills as well. There's just so much to do. He said Hermes, not harness. Oh. Well. Use Hermes agent. I don't even know what the hell is that, guys. Well, tomorrow we'll figure out what the hell Hermes agent is. I don't know. I'm just firing from the hip here. I just wanted a live stream so I can document it, and then we can look back on it and go, aha, wow, the early days. That was such a time to be alive. So I appreciate y'all for joining. Anybody that subbed or donated, I appreciate you. It really helps. And till tomorrow. See you guys in the next one. Should be fun. Deuces.